Hello, my movie peeps. Thank you so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. Whole bunch of movie news to dive into here today, so let's not even waste any time. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about here today, guys, is we got updates concerning DC Studios and what James Gunn is planning to do over there. We got our first bit of details involving the It prequel series and what we can be seeing go down in that. Tons of awesome news for horror fans, because it looks like we're going to get a whole bunch more horror movies coming to us very fast. Really, that along with so much more, so I'm going to need you guys to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. But without further ado, let's dive into our first thing, and that's basically us going through some trailers that have been released the past couple of days here. Starting off here with one I can't believe I'm going to be talking about here, but I got some stuff to say here. The Magic Mike 3 trailer titled Magic Mike's Last Dance. You're not going to believe me. When I saw this trailer, I was watching it. I was like 1 minute in going, there are not enough men taking off their clothes here. I said it! Channing Tatum, what are you doing? We watch Magic Mike for one reason and one reason only. It's for you to show your washboard abs in my face. Make me feel bad about the way I look, but also make me maybe question myself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Alright, all joking aside though, I did enjoy the first Magic Mike movie because they actually had an interesting story to tell. Taking inspiration from Channing Tatum's real life of just having to strip down for money when he started out in LA, it was kind of an interesting thing to follow. And now we've made it this far to where we're on the third film. When I hit play on a Magic Mike trailer, I expect to see some men stripping. And this trailer, they are subverting expectations, taking it in a whole different direction. You could have told me this was a legacy sequel for the movie Step Up, and I would have 100% believed it, because that's what it looks like they're doing here. Stepping away from Magic Mike stripping and going back to his Step Up days. I love even how, like, the first comment on the trailer literally says, this honestly feels like a different movie than Magic Mike. Like, just a random Channing Tatum movie. I rest my case. Channing Tatum, you failed us. So I give this trailer a trash. Moving on from there, another trailer here that I was anticipating, and I'm glad we finally got a look at it here, is the spiritual sequel to the movie Searching. Now, if you guys have not seen the movie Searching starring John Cho, I highly recommend it to you guys. It's a movie about a father whose daughter goes missing, and through the power of the internet and computers, he tries his best to find her. It's a great movie with a nice little twist at the end, and when they announced they were doing a sequel, I thought it was interesting because it would not follow the exact same family. It would be a brand new story with brand new characters in the same vein. This time they've kind of flipped things around on us, and it'll be the daughter actually searching for her missing parents once they go off to travel in Colombia. And my one piece of advice I'm going to give you guys, if you were a fan of Searching and you were curious about the sequel, don't watch the trailer. Gives away way too much. Really, I think what I just told you is all you need to know, is this time it's the daughter looking for her parents, and then you can wait for the surprises once the movie actually happens. I feel they reveal a little too much in this trailer. I know I'm also showing you footage of this, but without you knowing the sound, I feel like the context isn't there, so it's safe. So even though I'm actually excited for this movie and I'm looking forward to it, I'm actually going to give this a trash because they revealed way too much. One of the highlights of the previous movie was the surprises and the twists and turns. You kind of gave away some of them here. Alright, but moving on from there, let's talk about some of our movie news we got coming up here. We got some updating castings on upcoming movies I'm excited about, so let's talk about the first one here, the upcoming Alien sequel. You guys know ever since Disney bought Fox Studios, they have been repurposing their IPs. We already saw what they did with the movie Prey and the Predator franchise. Really love what they did there, and now they're planning to do sort of the same thing here with the Alien franchise, having Fed Alvarez be the director, and we've got some updates here where they've casted Kaylee Spaney as our main lead for this movie. So it's nice that they're keeping up with the tradition of Alien films of having a strong female lead. This is essentially our new Ripley. Still, I think a lot of us are just curious to what the actual story of this movie will be. Will they be taking it back to basics, kind of like they did with the Predator? Is it even going to be connected to the old Alien franchise? I know a lot of people are disappointed they didn't finish off the Prometheus trilogy. My main point of excitement on this project is just having Fed Alvarez direct it, because I think he's a great director. I feel like he's going to bring the horror back into the Alien franchise, which I think has been desperately needed, because I felt like it turned into an action franchise towards the end. But how do you guys feel about this update concerning the new Alien movie? Another casting update here on the movie I'm excited about for the Quiet Place prequel, titled A Quiet Place Day 1. We found out last week that Lupita Nyong'o was going to be starring in the movie, and now we know alongside her, we will have Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things Season 4, famously playing the role of Eddie, joining her in the movie. I think this is going to make a lot of Stranger Things fans happy. It makes me happy for Joseph Quinn, because now it gives him a shot to be something else other than just Eddie. He seemed like a very talented actor, and I can only imagine the stuff he's going to bring to the Quiet Place franchise. I'm still just getting more excited for this movie. That opening of A Quiet Place 2 made me really interested to see how people adapted to the alien life and started slowly surviving. And now knowing these are essentially going to be our two main leads, whether they're strangers teenagers, they're a couple, they're brother and sister, you never know, could be exciting. Let me know what you guys think of this casting choice for A Quiet Place Day 1. Moving on here, we got some updates concerning DC Studio because things are chucking along. It's been almost half a month now since Peter Safran and James Gunn took over the studio, made it their own, and they've been hard at work ever since. We're not seeing a lot of that hard work just yet, but you can bet that they are working hard. And one of the things that David Zaslav, the head of Discovery, has been saying about the DC Studio is this: I think over the next few years, you're going to see a lot of growth and opportunity around DC. There's not going to be 4 Batmans, and so part of our strategy is to drive the hell out of DC, which James and Peter are going to do. I think they've thrilled the fans. I think they're going to thrill you over a period of time. And that statement he made was very interesting, how much he knows they're overusing Batman, saying we're not going to have 4 different Batmans, because as of right now, we're close to getting that 4th Batman. We got Robert Pattinson out there. We got Ben Affleck set to come up in a couple DC movies. We know Michael Keaton's in the Flash movie. You know that Flash movie might have a cameo to another Batman, so you know there's a 4th one stewing. But that statement also has made DC fans nervous because it's like, okay, we understand you don't want that many Batmans, but you're at least going to keep Robert Pattinson Batman in his universe and then give us a main Batman in the DCU, right? I hope that's what he means, man, because I love what Matt Reeves has done with Robert Pattinson, and I don't want to see that world fade away, and also I don't want to see that world be forced to combine with the DCU. Who knows if that's part of the plans they have to somehow mush it all together into one cohesive universe, or they're completely fine with having a separation. The other thing that we have to talk about here is just how James Gunn has been teasing a lot about what's coming up with DC. We know he took online and posted a photo of Lobo, people thinking that we're going to get a Lobo project, and then on Twitter he posted a photo of Mr. Terrific, which I would say is a character that not a lot of mainstream audiences know, but I think really hints to either a JSA movie, which seems kind of obvious after Black Adam, but I gotta admit to you, those 2 photos being teased by James Gunn really surprised me with what they're doing. David Zaslav seemed very interested in sticking to the main core DC characters like Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, and then James Gunn's over here posting characters that people probably have to research and find out who the heck is this guy. They've also come out and said that James Gunn is like almost finished with creating this Bible for the DC universe so that they know what to do moving forward. I think it's exciting times. I'm just waiting to see how they're going to announce everything. They canceled DC Fandom this year. I think that was a big mistake, but next year, DC Fandom might be one bussin' time, and we gonna be all excited. How do you guys feel about all these DC updates? Moving on here, talking about some technical stuff, but if you're a horror fan, I think this is super exciting things. For one, you guys might remember, before it was James Gunn and Peter Safran at the head of DC Studios, it was a man named Walter Hamada. He was the closest thing to the Kevin Feige at DC over there, and well, some people weren't too happy with what he was doing there. Well, now that he's left Warner Brothers, he signed a deal over with Paramount specifically to take over their horror division. Here in the article, they have it set, Hamada's deal starts January 1st, and he'll be the architect of Paramount's mainstream horror genre, with the mission to release several low to mid-budget films per year across theatrical and streaming. At first, I really didn't know what to take from this because I didn't have an opinion on Walter Hamada either way, and I guess now coming over to Paramount, I gotta be grateful here as a horror fan that they're putting this focus on horror. Paramount this year had major successes with Scream 5, Smile, and even Orphan First Kill. Those were horror movies that were made for a pretty low budget and then made several times over their budget in theaters. This showed Paramount that they should have a focus more on horror movies, and they hired a man for that position. So that's really awesome that one good year of horror made this studio go, oh, we gotta be making a lot more horror. Jumping on from there, they're not the only studio making moves to make more horror movies for us. It just came out while I was making this side flick here that Blumhouse and James Wan with his production company Atomic Monster are going to be combining studios to make this sort of mega house for horror movies. They released an article with the New York Times about this merger that they're planning to do here, where they say Mr. Blum, however, wants Blumhouse to grow a lot. He is pushing for Blumhouse to make at least 8 horror movies for release in theaters each year, up from the 3 or 4 it has historically delivered, and it wants to make another slate of horror flicks for Peacock, NBC Universal's streaming service. In the same article, they even mentioned that the buzz surrounding the M3GAN movie, they've already started working on a sequel for that film, and that's a movie that's both combined with Blumhouse and James Wan Atomic Monster. This again just goes to show you guys how profitable making horror movies is in the industry. Just like looking at some of these numbers on Wikipedia for some of these horror movies that James Wan and his production company made, like he was making movies for $5 million, and they were all making at least over $100 million, just quadrupling their budgets. The only semi-failure they had was Malignant. I'll always remember you, Malignant. I want that sequel. But I throw it off to you horror fans. You see Paramount is putting a focus on horror. Blumhouse is combining with James Wan and his production company to make a bunch more horror movies. The next couple years, we're gonna be eating so much horror. How are you guys feeling about that? And I guess speaking about horror, let's end it off here with some really good news involving the Pennywise prequel series. We know now that this series is officially going to be happening. They have a full commitment order on HBO Max. Stuff is moving along, and well, the Illuminati, who has been very reliable in the past with giving us descriptions for characters coming up in a show, gives us a basic idea to what we can expect here. We already know the story is going to take place in the early 1960s, where Pennywise landed on Earth for the first time and started eating people. But now we also have this detail. The production is searching for a black male lead in their 30s to play the patriotic army man. He lives in Derry in the 1960s, which is hard life even before the nightmare of Pennywise. He is in the middle of the community, trying to bring people together in an unlikely time. He is a pilot and plays a major role in Welcome to Derry. Continuing on, additionally, HBO Max is looking to cast a group of young kids in a leading role. Very little was revealed about this group of youths. Our sources revealed that this group may resemble the Losers Club in It. So it looks like we'll have an army man coming home to Derry, and then this clown is also there. But the other part that has me interested is they want to recreate sort of a Losers Club vibe in this show with a group of kids. I'm kind of glad that the entire show doesn't seem to revolve around these kids, but that they will be a focus. That also gives us the opportunity that if they have multiple seasons, they could do a time jump and then give us adult versions of these kids. So that could be really fun and exciting to me. So to me so far, I love the sound of this. I think this could be a really great show. I'm looking forward to it. I just want that confirmation of Bill Skarsgård, Pennywise be in there, and what is he gonna look like? Will he just be looking like the way he did in some of those flashbacks for It Chapter 2? Will the whole season linger on him eventually then turning into a clown and that picking that as his main form? That's where I leave it off to you guys. What do you think about these details involving the It prequel series, and do they make you excited? But that is all movie news we're currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.